Dave, what do you say we wrap up the show on a somewhat lighthearted note here? Several women can call themselves Powerball winners in the most unique way. 45-year-old Tammy Carvey of Michigan recently took home $100,000, and she intends to pay off her home. Meanwhile, Virginia grandmother Carrie Edwards won $150,000, which she plans to donate to charity. Well, what made these prizes so newsworthy? Carrie says they picked the numbers using artificial intelligence.
So I had my buddy ChatGPT help me with the numbers. He said, it's all about luck, right? He said, lucky is still lucky. But he said, here's some numbers you can play with. I was shocked. I was surprised. I knew it was like a divine windfall. I'm giving it all away, $150,000. I did have a fleeting minute when I won about, I could do half. And then all of a sudden this just voice said, nope, you got to give it all away.
I would argue that that's about the same as doing the quick pick option, but maybe that in and of itself is AI. We are seeing more AI tools in investing, but I have to wonder, can technology ever replace the value of a human advisor, especially for those that are approaching retirement?
Well, I could speak for myself, but I think I'm speaking for many people. I think all of us have experienced where we make a phone call to a business or some business that we've been spending our money at, and you get into the AI platform and they want some robot to answer you. And you get bounced around and you get frustrated and you get angry. And the next thing you know, you're hanging up and you're saying, why can't I just talk to a human being? I think all of us have been there. I know I have been there a lot. So maybe because of my age, the AI is a new thing. It's been a good thing to invest in, believe you me. But there is nothing that can replace the value of a human advisor. If your portfolio is dropping in value, why is it dropping? Well, what are you going to do? You're going to call and you're going to ask a question. Do you think your robo-advisor that you employed to asset allocate your funds is going to have a ready-made answer? No, they have a plan and they have an asset allocation that your money's going to go into. I know of people that have employed these AI robo portfolio advisors. They cannot develop a plan. They cannot answer a question. And if changes need to be made, how are they going to do that? So human advisors are essential because financial planning is rooted in life events. And goals change, human situations change, family dynamics change. It's not an algorithm. It's called real life. And a human advisor has the ability and the wherewithal to pivot when the situation changes for a client. As a financial advisor, we help our clients navigate their way through what to many seem like a very complex environment. Market volatility, we've talked about that. Evolving tax law, career transitions, inheritance. There's a lot of factors that play into why a person needs a human advisor. The baby boomers stand to leave a lot of money to their children and grandchildren. If we become entirely built on AI, who's going to advise these kids on how they should plan to use this money that's being given to them by their parents and grandparents? AI will take data and aggregate it. It will pick a risk tolerance. You can answer some questions and get a risk tolerance. Have you ever answered a question and then when you hang up the phone, you say, gee, I wish I had answered that question a little bit differently. Or you think about it a little bit and you say, gee, I wish I had looked at this a little bit differently. AI doesn't account for that. A human advisor, you can call up and you can say, you know what, I thought a little more about my answer to that question, and I think this is what I really want to do. And then the human advisor will pivot and help you solve the problem. I had a client that recently, he bought out a business partner and became sole owner of a very successful business. And you know what? I give him a tremendous amount of credit, because going on your own with a business, and this is a multi-million-dollar business in terms of annual sales, he took out a loan, bought out the partner. He calls up his human advisor and says, which is me, and says, I think I need to purchase life insurance to cover this loan. I feel it's a 10-year loan. I think I can pay it off in 5, but in case something happens to me, I want to be able to cover, I want to indemnify my family in the event that something happens to me. Does an AI program do things like that? I don't know. But I'm going to bet that had I not reached out to this person, they probably wouldn't have been any kind of a program put together to redeem this debt if something happened to the business owner. So, AI, there's certainly a place for it. I think when you have human advisors that use AI for the benefit of clients and the development of plans, I think that's all very good. But there's nothing better than a client calling their advisor with concerns, or they just want some backup on what they're considering doing and what is the right plan of action for them to take into account. And that's why, in my opinion, a human financial advisor is the best asset that a person can have, or a family.